Good morning, students of class 5. Students, today I'm going to continue with lesson 6 of your Wordsworth English Reader book, A Young Girl and Her Diary. Students, I have already discussed and explained all the exercises of comprehension, language structure, and exercise A and B of grammar glee. Today, I'm going to revise exercise B of grammar glee based on verbs, and then I'll be explaining exercise C of grammar glee and the creative writing, that is notice writing. So students, those of you who have got the new edition of Wordsworth English Reader books, please take out your books and turn to page number 57, exercise B of grammar glee. Please turn to page number 57 of exercise B grammar glee. Students, today I'll be revising the regular and the irregular verbs. Students, regular verbs form their past tense and past participle by adding ed. For example, the present form of verb is talk. So if we want to change into past form, we will simply add ed to the word talk to change into the past form. And if we want to change the present form of talk to past participle, in this also we'll be adding ed, so it will be talked. And the verb will be changed into past participle form. So regular verbs form their past tense and past participle by adding ed to the word. Whereas students, the irregular verbs do not form their past and past participle forms like regular verbs. They form them in the following way. The first way is all the forms remain the same. That is put. Then the second two forms are same. You can see first is bend and then the next two are same. That is bent and bent. B-E-N-T, B-E-N-T. The second example is bleed. In this, the present form is bleed, whereas the past and the past participle form are same. That is bled, bled. In the third example, the verb is written beat in the present form. The past form is also beat, whereas the past participle form is beaten. So, the two forms are same in some verbs and one is different. Whereas the third example has all the three forms are different. For example, see, saw, seen. Eat, ate, eaten. These are the examples in which all the three forms of verbs are different. Students, now we need to write the past form and past participle form and also tell whether the verbs are regular or irregular. Students, the first word is laugh. The past form of laugh is laughed. L-A-U-G-H-E-D. Laughed. The past participle is also laughed. In this, we just had to add ed to the past tense and past participle to change its form. So, where such verbs in which we add ed to the past and past participle form, such verbs are known as regular verbs. So, laugh, laughed, laughed, these are regular verbs. Now, students, the second example is come. And the past form is came and the past participle form is come. Now we haven't added ed to the past and past participle, so these are irregular verbs. Now students, the third one, that is cut. In this, all the three forms will remain the same. There will be no change. The past form is also cut and the past participle is also cut. So again, example of irregular verbs. These are irregular verbs. Students, now the next word is paint. And when we change the that is the base form to the past form, we will be adding painted, ed, to the word paint. And again, past participle is also painted. We have added ed to both the forms. So, example of regular verbs. Paint, painted, painted. Example of regular verbs. Now, students, the next example is shut. In shut, students, all the three forms remain the same, no change. So again, shut, 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 example of irregular verbs. We haven't added ed, so they are not regular verbs. Shut, shut, shut. The word will remain same in all the three forms. Now, the fourth word is bite. Bite, the past form is bit and the past participle form is bitten. Again, example of these are irregular verbs. Bite, bit, bitten, irregular verbs. Students, the next example is learn. Learn, as I had explained in my last class, that learn can be both regular and irregular verbs. Now, if we add learned to the past form, ed, then again learned, we have added ed. So here, these are regular verbs. But if we add t to the past and past participle form, then they will become irregular verbs. So, learn can be changed if we add ed, then to the past and past participle, then they'll be regular verbs. But if we add t, that is learn, learned, learn, then they'll be irregular verbs. Then students, the next example is lay. The past of lay is laid. The past participle is also laid. So again, example of irregular verbs. Lay, laid, lay. Students, the next example is steal. Steal is the base form. The past is stole. Past form is stole. Past participle is stolen. Again, changes, we haven't added ed, so these are irregular verbs. Steal, stole, stolen. Irregular verbs. Now students, the next example is choose. And the past is chose and the past participle is chosen. Choose, chose, chosen. We haven't added ed, so again irregular verbs. Then students, the next word is run. R-U-N, run. The past form is R-A-N, ran, and the past participle is R-U-N, run. Again, these are irregular verbs because we haven't added ed to change into past and past participle. The next example, student, is tell. So, the past form is told. The past participle is also told. So, again, example of irregular verbs. Tell, told, told. Irregular verbs. The next word, students, is shoot. The Past of shoot is short. The past participle is also short. So again, example of irregular verbs. Shoot, short, short. Irregular verbs. Students, the next word is blow. The past is blew and the past participle is blown. Again, the example of they are irregular verbs. Blow, blew, blown. Irregular verbs. Then the next example is stand. The past is stood and the past participle form is again stood. Again, they are irregular verbs because we haven't added ed to it. Then the next word is forget. And the past form of forget is forgot. The past participle is forgotten. Again, the example of irregular verbs. Forget, forgot, forgotten. Irregular verbs. Then the last word is hurt. Hurt will remain same. The spelling and pronunciation will remain same in all the three forms. And these are also the example of irregular verbs. So I hope students, now the verbs are clear to you. So now please learn the examples given in your Unit 10 grammar book on verbs, page number 43, 44 and 45. Please learn this so that you easily can change the base form of verb into the past form and the past participle form. Now students, we will turn to page number 58 and then I will explain the exercises on punctuation, and in punctuation today we learn about apostrophe. Students, the sign of apostrophe is exactly like comma, but comma comes below the word, whereas the sign of apostrophe comes after the word and before s depending upon its use. And students, why do we use apostrophe? We know that apostrophe is used, number one, to indicate possession or belonging. Example, the horse's tail. बेटा, जब भी बताना होता है कि कोई चीज किसके पोजेशन में है या किसको बिलोंग करती, मतलब किसकी है, तो हम कौन सा साइन यूज करते हैं पंचुएशन में बेटा? अपॉस्ट्रोफी का साइन. And the second use is we use the sign of apostrophe in contractions. Beta, contraction means short forms. For example, can't. Can't is the short form of the word cannot. Cannot का बेटा हम short form क्या लिखते हैं? Can't. So we have used the sign of apostrophe after can and before the letter T. The second example is she had. The contraction of she had is she apostrophe and D. So apostrophe is used to indicate possessions or belongings. Example, the horse's tail. Whose tail? The horse's tail. But students, you need to remember key words that plural nouns ending with s or even singular nouns which have got s at its end, you always use the sign of apostrophe after the s, whereas in singular nouns generally the sign of apostrophe comes before s. So you need to keep this rule in your mind. Now students, we'll be doing exercise C, use apostrophe, and rewrite the following conversation to show belongings and for contraction. There's a conversation given and we need to put the sign of apostrophe where it is needed. Now, Ruby and Megha find a bag. Ruby, this bag belongs to Tarun, I think. Now, students, we need to write this line again using the sign of apostrophe. Ruby is saying, this bag belongs to Tarun, I think. Now, there is no sign of apostrophe in this sentence, but we need to rewrite this same sentence as said by Ruby, but by changing the sentence and using apostrophe in this. So, students, we will write Ruby, I think. Our sentence, after Ruby, you need to put the sign of colon, and after that, you will write, I think, comma, this is Tarun's bag. And we will use the sign of apostrophe after Tarun. We will write Tarun like Tarun apostrophe S. And the sentence will be, Ruby will say, I think, comma, this is Tarun's bag. We will rewrite this sentence using apostrophe, and when we'll be using apostrophe in this, we need to change the sentence. I think. So we'll be starting our sentence with I think this comma this is Tarun's bag. So we have written the sentence again without changing the meaning but using the sign of apostrophe. Whose bag? Tarun's bag. So Ruby says, I think, comma, this is Tarun's bag. बेटा यहाँ हमको पोजेशन दिखाना था. Now students, our second sentence of the conversation is Megha. But I am wondering that if this is the diary of Karan, the one he calls my secret friend, I remember he was looking for it. So now students, we need to keep in mind now where we have to use the sign of apostrophe. This is the diary of Karan. Whose diary? Karan's diary. Like in the earlier sentence, we had used whose bag? Tarun's bag. The same way, we'll be rewriting this sentence using the sign of apostrophe. So, our sentence will be Megha, but I'm wondering if this is Karan's diary. Entire sentence will remain the same, and just in place of diary of Karan, we'll be writing Karan's diary. Whose diary? Karan's diary. So here we are showing the possession that the diary belongs to whom? Karan. So we are using the sign of apostrophe, and apostrophe is followed by an S. So the sentence will be Megha, but I'm wondering if this is Karan's diary, comma, the one he calls is my secret friend. I remember he was looking for it. Now students, the third sentence of the conversation. Ruby, right Neha, and these pencils belong to Nana. Let us look into the bag. Now whose pencils? Nana's pencils, isn't it? So we'll be rewriting this sentence like Ruby, right Neha, and these, because we are talking about pencils, more than one thing. So these are Nana's pencils. Nana, apostrophe S, and then pencils. Same sentence. Ruby will say, right Neha, and these are Nana's pencils. Full stop. Let us look into the bag. So the entire sentence will remain the same. So only change which has to be done is, instead of pencils belong to Neha, we'll be writing, pencils belong to Naina, we'll be writing Naina's pencils. So Ruby will say, right, Neha, and these are Naina's pencils. Let us look into the bag. Now, the next sentence. Megha says, these crayons belong to Bonnie. So, again, we will be, whose crayons? Bonnie's crayons. So, we'll be writing, Megha will say, these are Bonnie's crayons. So, we'll be writing, these are Bonnie's crayons. Megha will say, these are Bonnie's crayon. Whose crayon? These crayons belongs to Bonnie. So, whose crayons? Bonnie's crayons. Megha will say, these are Bonnie's crayons. Now, the next sentence. That is Ruby. Ruby, this is Ruby. This is the notepad that belongs to Seema. So, this is the notepad that belongs to Seema. Now, whose notepad? Seema's notepad. So, Ruby will say, this is Seema's notepad. This is Seema's notepad. Ruby, this is Seema's notepad. Instead of that notepad that belongs to Seema, we'll be writing, Ruby, this is Seema's notepad. Now, the next one. And that is Megha. This pair of scissors also belong to Radha. So, we'll be writing, Megha, this is Radha's, whose pair of scissors? Radha's pair of scissors. Megha will say, this is Radha's pair of scissors. This pair of scissors also belongs to Radha. Instead of this, we'll be writing, this is Radha's pair of scissors. Apostrophe after Radha and S after the sign of apostrophe. Now, students, these were the apostrophe used to show possessions or belonging, that a certain thing belonged to certain persons. But now in the next two sentences, we'll be using apostrophe to show the short form or contractions. Now, Ruby, so we have found the thief. It is none other than Tarun. So, students, now we will be using the short form of we have. So, we have, after we, apostrophe sign, and then we. This is the short form of we have. So, we have found the thief, and the short form of it is its. It's none other than Tarun. So, we'll be using two contractions for these two set of words. For we have, we'll be writing we apostrophe ve. This is the short form of we have. And for it is, we'll be writing it apostrophe s, its. So, we have found the thief. It is none other than Tarun. And in this sentence, we are using, we're not showing the possession, using the apostrophe for not showing the possession, but we are using the apostrophe to show the short forms or contraction. So, we have written the short form of we have and it is. Now, in the last sentence, students, Megha, let us catch the thief before he escapes. In this, we have to use the short form of let us. So, let's. Let's is the short form of let us. Let's catch the thief before he escapes. So, let us, the short form of let us is let's. So, students, I hope now the use of apostrophe is clear to you. Now, students, we'll be doing the creative writing, and this is the notice. Now, your school is organizing a trip to National Museum. Write a notice for the same, asking the students who wish to visit the museum to give their names. Now, students, in this, we need to write a notice, and notice for the students to let them know that our school is organizing a trip to the National Museum, and the students who wish to visit the museum should give their names. Now, students, for writing notice, there is a particular format. But before that, some important things about notice, students. What is notice writing? Notice is a written announcement. Why do we write notice, students? Notice is a written announcement. Notices are either displayed at prominent places like school boards, class boards, etc., or published in newspapers or magazines. Since a notice contains a formal announcement or information, its tone and style should always be formal and factual. We cannot use personal words in notice. Now, students, let's learn the format, how to write the notice. Students, this is the format of notice writing. First of all, you need to know that notice is always written in a box. Can you see a box? Can you see this box, students? Can you see the box on all the four sides? So notice is always enclosed in a box. Then, students, this is the box. I hope everybody can see the box. Notice is always written in the box. We need to put the notice in a box. That means we need to write the notice in a box. Then leave 1 centimeter space on all four sides of the notice. Here, this is the box, and all four sides we need to leave 1 centimeter space so that it looks neat. Then, students, leave a line on all the top side and the bottom side. Can you see one line after the box? And again over here, we need to leave one line before closing the box. Then, after leaving the line, we need to write the name of the institution in capital letters on the first line. You need to leave a line and write the name of the institution, that is the school or college, on the top and in the center. This should come on the topmost line, and then it should always be written with capital letters. Then after that, students, you need to leave one line. You have seen I've left one line. Then after that, after leaving one line, you have to write the word notice in capital letters on the top in the center. After writing the name of the institution, that is the name of the school or college, leave one line and then write notice in capital letters in the second line after leaving one line. Then, students, again you need to leave the line and then you need to write the heading. You need to write the heading after leaving the line, and heading should also be taken from the question only. Give an appropriate heading depending upon the subject of the notice. For example, if you're writing a notice on something lost, you'll be mentioning lost, lost, lost. If you have found something, you are writing that you have found a pen, so you'll be giving the heading as found, found, found. Then if you're writing, for example, this, we are informing the students that there's a trip to the museum, so our heading will be a trip to the National Museum. So heading will depend upon the subject of the notice. Then after writing the heading, students, you need to again leave one line. After that, you need to write the date on the left hand corner, students. Always remember that date will come in the left hand corner. And there's a format for writing the date. First you'll write the month, then the date, and then the year on the left side. First the month, then the date, and then the year. After writing the date, students, again you need to leave one line, and then the body of the notice will come. Students, notice writing each heading has got marks. So you need to be very careful because each heading carries certain marks. And this writing, this will continue till class 12. So it's better that you learn it correctly so that you score full marks in notice writing. And for writing notice, you just need to learn the format of notice writing. And the body of the letter should not exceed more than 50 to 60 words. And the body of the letter, students, will be having the purpose of the notice, that is all relevant details, that is the date, venue, time. That is the body of the letter. After writing the body of the letter, maybe it is of 4 lines, 3 lines, depending upon your matter, but remember it should not exceed more than 60 words. After writing the body of the letter, students, you need to write your name on the left hand side. Again, please ensure that you write the name again in capital letters, and after writing the name, it will be followed with your class or designation. Designation is that post which you are holding. Suppose you are the monitor of the class, you are the head boy of the school or the head girl of the school. So you need to mention your designation. So this is the format of the notice writing, students. Again, I'm repeating, the format of the notice writing should include name of the institution, capital letters, then leave one line in the second line. You'll be writing after leaving one line, notice, that is again in capital letters. Then again leave one line, and on the left hand side will come date. Then again leave one line. You'll be writing the heading. That also you'll be extracting from the question itself, and after writing the heading in the center, you'll again leave one line, and then you'll write the body of the notice, which will include time, date, place, venue, when you are going, where you are going, and things like that. After that, on the left hand side will come your name, that is again in capital letters, and after your name will come your class oblique designation. So this was the format of notice writing, students. Now let's write the notice which has been given in the book. Now, our notice was that your school is organizing a trip to the National Museum. Write a notice for the same, asking students who wish to visit the museum to give their names. So, students, first rule to be followed is that we need to put our notice in the box. So, you can see that our notice is also written in the box. All 4 sides should be closed, and the last box should be closed after finishing the notice. Leave one line, and then you can see after writing the name, class, section, you need to leave one line, and then you need to close the box. So students, as said, after drawing the box, you need to leave one line. Then you have to write the name of the institution, and the name of a school is Army Public School Varanasi. This has been written in capital letters on the topmost line and in the center. So Army Public School Varanasi. This is the first thing. After that, you need to leave one line, students, and then you need to write notice in capital letters again in the center. So we have written notice in capital letters. Then you need to leave one line again, students, and then after that, leaving the line, you need to write the date, and date has also got a particular format. First, you need to mention the name of the month. I have written May, but suppose this is the question comes in the month of July. instead of May, you will be writing the month July. Then you need to write the date. Maybe it is 11 July, 12 July, 13th, and so on. After writing the date, so let's say July 4th, comma, 2020, that is the year. You'll be writing the date in the proper format. Then students, you need to again leave one line. After leaving the line, you need to write the heading. Remember, heading also has to be written in capital letter. And our heading will be Trip to the National Museum. After writing the heading, students, you need to leave one line. And after leaving the line, the body of the letter will come. This is to inform all the students that the school is organizing a trip to the National Museum on July 27, 2020. First stop, interested students can give their names along with their consent form of their parents to their respective class teacher by, you need to give one date also, by May 27, 2020. So this is the notice. It is very short, to the point, and remember, you should not repeat any points in notice writing. The tips are: do not cross the word limit. The word limit of the body should be 50 to 60 only. Then repetition of any information should be avoided. Always enclose the notice in the box, and you ensure that you draw the box with a pencil. Keep your notice, that is the body of the notice, very short and to the point. And the heading, students, should be very eye-catching, drawing the attention of people. And try to use the words available in the question only. And the purpose of the notice writing should be stated clearly. You should focus on presentation, neatness, and clarity. No cutting or shabby work should be done. Otherwise, your marks will be deducted. And students, after writing the body of the letter, please leave one line. And on the left hand side, please write your name with capital letters. And since this notice is written by a student, so after writing your name, you need to write your class and section. After doing this, students, again, you please leave one line and then you please close the box. If you don't close the box, your marks will be deducted. Notice is always written inside a box. And remember that all four sides should have equal gap. So I hope, students, notice writing is clear to you. First, remember that notice is always written in the box. Then you need to leave all four sides inside the box, almost half to 1 centimeter space, so that it looks neat and clear. Then you need to learn the format of notice. Once you learn the format, you will be easily able to write the notice. So students, we have finished lesson 6, a young girl and her diary. Now, that's all for today. Thank you. Have a good day.